Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. Gives the word cockroach a whole new painful meaning. The Nest. The 1980 novel by Ellie Cantor under the pseudonym Gregory A. Douglas. Now, I have reviewed this before. I just don't like the review. So I'm redoing the Paperbacks from Hell Files series, and we're starting with the first one they released. The Nest. Yeah. The plot: on an island near Cape Cod, dubbed Yarky, something odd is going on. A local fisherman's dog is ravaged. A group of out-of-towner punks disappear, and rats are acting peculiar. It's thought to be maybe possibly sharks, rats, or maybe both. However, despite their dismissed hypotheses, it turns out to be killer cockroaches. Can anyone survive the onslaught of these sharp-toothed, voracious feeders of the flesh? With their powerful jaw pressure, they can leave no trace of human or animal bodies. No skin, no meat, nor bone will be left behind after they're through with you. It's terrible. Disgusting. Ellie Cantor, who also wrote The Unholy Smile, which I actually do haven't read it yet, relishes in the science of it all. This isn't some far-fetched, science-run-amok gobbledygook that has no basis in reality. No, Cantor makes sure you notice that something like this is entirely possible. With the two scientists on the island, a level of respect is given to them. They're the leading authorities on insect behavior, and are brought in to help them with their infestation. As scientists, they come up with several hypotheses that could lead to why the roaches are acting freakish and unconventional when it comes to usual roach behavior. They think it's maybe from the new chemical that was sprayed at the dump for the rats. They wonder if it's just nature trying to do what she always does, reset and wipe them out. There's a more natural explanation that kind of involves the former, but I won't spoil it. Hell, they devise a logically sound plan that does lead them to the titular nest. And it made so much sense. The roaches, however, are anything if not cunning, unintentionally or intentional. For now, let's stick with the characters and then move on to the gross stuff. We have Peter Hubbard, who is a man of science and textbook reasoning. In his late 20s, he's already achieved so much from scholarly work and has amassed a proper education. However, he does not look down at those who are not as gifted as he. He takes the time to explain the happenings and what he plans to do, and goes into several long and one quite lengthy discussions about the roaches, and how normal roaches work, and his thoughts on how these ones act similar yet different to the common house roach. He knows that human life is at risk, and doesn't go around flinging his degree every chance he gets. Instead, he's with the townspeople through and through. Elizabeth Carr is a fair, soft yet intelligent and resourceful woman, who has been in love with Peter for 6 years. Ever since they first met, she was 16 at the time, but has matured into a capable young adult. She is from Yarky, but is actually visiting her uncle while on break from her college life. She's accompanied by her friend Bonnie Taylor, who is a black woman who quickly fits right in with the scurvy dogs. Unlike the college students of today, she doesn't lambaste or disrespect other people's way of thinking. The people of Yarky are old school and respectful towards others and a supportive community, unlike the horror community, usually. It's more of a horror family, you see. I'm getting off track. Everyone knows everyone, and in that, there's a faint air of relatability, as well as respect that I, as a reader, came to appreciate with this town. Of course, most college women, or even men today, won't stand for a woman who cooks, cleans, and supports everyone, and vice versa, but I digress. Anyway, Londa Lindstrom accompanies Hubbard to the island, and it's made clear that their relationship is a strictly professional one. They may have come close a time or two, but nothing ever came of that. Peter clearly has eyes on Elizabeth Carr, Wanda has no problems with that, and is there to find reasons and solutions on why the cockroaches are attacking and how to stop them. She never steps out of line. Sheriff Amos Tarbell is a stern man who always is there to help combat the roaches. He's an understanding lawman who goes along with most of what the scientists have to say. He will question if he has doubts, but most of the time he believes them, no matter how far-fetched or impossible it may seem. Russell Homer is the local garbage man. He works at the junkyard and has aspirations to own a plow, I think. Some sort of truck. He knows some stuff about roaches, but is definitely overshadowed by Hubbard and Wanda. However, they don't belittle him. They treat him with the same respect that they treat the others. Stephen Scott, the Selectman, I think? He's the mayor-type character, whose cowardice can be sensed with every single line of dialogue he says, is a scaredy cat. Elias Johnson and Craig Soros are two sea combatant expert sailors. Elias is Elizabeth's grandfather. I said uncle earlier, but it was actually her grandfather. My apologies. And Craig is Elias's first mate and also serves as transportation from Yarkey to Cambridge, which is near Boston. I don't live too far from this area, so I've actually heard of it. It's the close to home fear I got when reading this book. I sat outside to read this for the most part, and even killed a stink bug on my last day of a deep dive into The Nest by Ellie Cantor. Needless to say, the rotting earthly smell in my nostrils and bug innards on my palm were enough to bring me right into the pit of paradise that became hell that is Yarkey. That's the thing about The Nest, it sucks you in with its likable and relatable characters. They're very memorable. It also sucks you in with impressive and icky, if not pseudo-bug science, and beautiful descriptions of the locale and its people's culture. I enjoyed this book more the second time around, where I grew to appreciate its richness. The dialogue just pops like a blooming flower. And every time someone talked, it was like taking a trip down an isolated fairy tale with macabre interactions with these vile vermin of the insect world. Let's get to that gross shit. Gore! Several grisly scenes stuck out to me. The literal raping of the planet scene with full-on penetration of the earth and genital mutilation included. The I told you not to put it there atrocity and the Sunday after church picnic that leads to nightmarish encounters with the surging sea and the repulsive roaches are just a few of the graphic details in this book. People are just torn apart. They like to go for the inside of the ears, nose, mouth, and like to eat your eyeballs.
Go ahead. Make my day.
They eat you outside and in. There are so many disturbing sequences where there is a ceaseless amount of blood spilling from the human body. The hapless victims. Your face will be their feast. This was a solid banger of a novel, and a great first addition to the Paperbacks from Hell series. While I normally would have mentioned a potential film score, I don't have to, because this book did get a movie adaptation, loosely based off the source material, but it was a fun watch nevertheless, in a trashy B-movie kind of way. I'd say if you're into a novel that delves deep into the gruesome details about roach science and roach feastings, and don't mind the absurdity of it all, then by all means, please read The Nest. It's sometimes hard to stomach, but it's still schlocky enough to have fun with itself. Like a punk fucking a tree. I'm not kidding. Overall, I give The Nest a 3 out of 5. Hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video, and as always, subscribe. Bye-bye.